Hello and welcome to the final update episode of 2019. It's been a hell of a year and I want to end it on a positive note. So today we're going to be planting some seeds. I'm going to be showing you what we're going to be putting inside my grow tent over there. What a year 2019 has been. We started off the year doing quite a lot of garden works. We put in some new paths, increased the size of the entertainment patio. We put up this shed, and the big thing for me obviously was putting in the polytunnel. And I had pretty good success, I think, with the polytunnel. It was a good first year. There definitely are some changes I'm going to be making in 2020, and we'll talk about that in a future video. But all in all, I had some decent harvests and it did a good job, kept the warmth, and had some good growth from my plants, so can't really complain. I am going to be doing a video in the future talking about the differences between greenhouses and polytunnels and which one maybe you should be looking at depending on your circumstance. So that's a video for the future. This year I also experimented with quite a few hydroponic systems. I built a couple mini hydroponic systems with a bit of automation to go into it, and also built a big hydroponic system that's been in the greenhouse the whole year. So I've been filming little segments throughout the year just on my observations and my opinions on things when it comes to hydroponics, and I'm going to be putting that together over the next couple of weeks as soon as I have a bit of time. The other thing I'm going to give you my final thoughts on is the Botanium system throughout the year, using the Botanium system, just a long-term review for the year. I filmed the final episode, my final verdict on the system, and I just need to edit it as well and get it out to you guys. I have quite a few video ideas that are coming up for 2020, not least of all the new beginner's guide to automation. I've been playing quite a lot with a few different systems over the last week or two and getting myself used to it, and I finalized pretty much the structure of how I'm going to be doing that beginner's guide for you guys, and it's pretty cool. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and hopefully you guys are going to have a lot of fun with it as well. We're going to end the year by starting something new. We're going to be planting a few seeds. So of course you would have seen in recent videos I've been showing you my shed that I'm in at the moment, and particularly the grow tent. I've been running a monitoring system inside the grow tent to see if I can keep the temperatures where I need them to be. That heating bar that I was using, that green ceramic one, it's not actually up to the task. It can raise the temperature by maybe 5 or 6 degrees Celsius, but that's not good enough. If we get down to -5, then I'm only going to be able to get this to about 0 degrees Celsius. So I've got another heating element coming. It should be arriving today. I'm waiting for Amazon to actually deliver it, and I'm sure that's going to do a better job. Today we're going to be planting 2 varieties of seed. I'm sure you guys have already guessed the one variety that I'm going to be planting, and that is my peri-peri cross with lemon drop. So we've got the seeds in here. I've been soaking them in some tea. So if you watched some of my old beginner's guide videos to growing, then you'd know why I use tea, but I've been soaking that for about 12 hours, and that's the one variety we're going to grow inside this tent. I'm going to be using the tent to try and be quite aggressive with my timelines of growing this peri-peri and lemon drop. I'm going to try and get through maybe 3 generations this year, maybe even 4. I don't know, we'll see. That'll be a bit of a challenge, but I think 3 is manageable, and that just means I get to get these to a stable sort of stage. The other seeds we're going to be planting are these peri-peri seeds that I kind of smuggled back from Mozambique. It's a bit of a different chili than the one I grow myself, the other peri-peri, but I managed to get some seeds from the source that we were given on the table. I couldn't get hold of fresh peri-peri chilies themselves, so this is going to be a bit of a chance that I'm taking to see if these will actually germinate. The way that the sauce was made, 50% of it was cooked, 50% of it was raw, so I don't know. I might get lucky. We'll see. Okay, so what we're using are these small rock wool things over here, and they just go straight in to the holes. Pretty easy. There's the problem with not having a tap in the shed is I'm working with buckets. So that there's 2 liters. That's 4. Okay, so it seems like it's 5 liters. This here is not the best nutrient to use to grow peppers. However, seed starting, it's absolutely fine and it does a great job. But at the time that the first flowers start, you want to move off of this. It just does not have the right mix. It's nice and light, nothing that's going to burn any roots when they do come through. If you are going to use this setup, don't fill up every hole with the rock wool. Leave at least 1 or 2, because that allows you then to not have to open up the base of this to fill with water. You can just pour it into one of these holes, and you can also see where the level of it is. So just getting that to slot in properly. There we go. One change I will be making this year: when I planted my seeds last year in this system, basically some of the seeds, the roots were not going down into the rock wool themselves, and you ended up having a problem where the root was sitting up the top here, and yeah, you end up losing your plants like that. So what I will do is just open these up a little bit and get the seed to go inside and then close up over. So we'll see how we can get that done easily. So I was going to mention to you, my wife has just started a new Instagram account called Mrs. ChilliChump. She'll do a bit of behind the scenes stuff, some interesting photos and opinions from her, I'm sure. So go and follow her on Instagram. Make sure you're following me as well, actually. I'll put a link down in the description below. Something else I'm considering doing this year is redoing my From Seed to Sauce series. That's my beginner's guide to growing peppers and making sauce. And the reason for that is, since I did that first series, which people are still watching and hopefully still getting a lot of use out of it, number one, I've learned a few things like lighting have come a long way since that series. I know it's only been just under 2 years, but things have moved on quite rapidly in the world of grow lights. So that part definitely needs to be updated. And the other thing is, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and the the video quality, I was still learning. Well, I am still learning. I'm always learning about editing, filming, trying to get things looking good so that it's pleasing for you guys to watch. The audio as well, making sure that is decent. Not just a complete copy of what I did before. I'll definitely improve quite a bit of it and make it a bit more accessible for you guys, maybe a bit more succinct. I don't know what I'm actually expecting. You can never really tell when you make a cross. You know, I can make a cross with my peri-peri, cross with a lemon drop, and somebody else could do exactly the same cross, but what you get out of it at the end could be completely different. And that's the joy or the frustration, I guess, of crossing chilies, is you never know what you're going to get. I know I get a lot of people commenting or messaging me, emailing me, asking about maybe doing a cross of like a bell pepper with a Carolina Reaper, because they think they're going to have a sweet Carolina Reaper that's huge like a bell pepper. It doesn't really work that way. You could just as easily get a bell pepper that looks like a Carolina Reaper but has no heat. So you know, you gotta take a chance and see how it goes, and also you have to, you know, hope that it doesn't revert back to type after a couple generations, because that's also a risk. I could, for example, grow a couple of these here that I like the look of, and they might have an amazingly cool looking and tasting pepper, and I end up going through the generations and we get to maybe generation 6 and it reverts back to being just a peri-peri. You know, that is a risk that you take, and probably one of the biggest frustrations when doing this. That's why it is actually a numbers game. So while I was filming, like I thought, the new heater arrived, so I'm gonna get rid of this bar heater. I chose this here. This is basically just a small oil heater. I wanted something that wasn't too high on the wattage. This here is 800 watts, so it's definitely higher than the other bar, but also wanted something that could maintain the heat quite well. Yeah, it's coming up to temperature. Just gonna get that lid on. Take a look up there. 9.2 degrees, and we'll get that temperature up. I have been monitoring this with the system here. I actually have this all set up now on the system I'm going to be using when I give you guys the beginner's guide series, and it's working quite well. So I will keep on monitoring, and we'll see the difference that that new heater makes. It'll be quite interesting. There's only one last thing to do here. It's not important for me to do it right now, but I'll get it set up anyway, and that is my light. So you obviously don't need any lighting until a bit later on, once the seeds have actually done their thing and germinated, and you've got the first set of true leaves. But it's not going to harm anything if I get this set up in the meantime. So here we have the Spider Farmer. Yeah, these things don't hook directly on here. Let's just plug it in, see what it does. Wow. Yeah, you ain't going to be able to see anything with that. There you go. Yeah, that's bright. Really, really bright. So it'll be interesting once we get some leaves starting over here. Then we'll get the light switched on. But for now, I'm going to switch that off. That's it for this video, and also for 2019. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting me this year. It's been an amazing year. I hope that you have a fantastic New Year's celebration, and I hope that 2020 is just incredible for all of you. I look forward to seeing you in the new year, and until then, stay spicy.